where does Lucy go from here?
Anywhere she wants. The future is open. Beware of the traps. Walk steadfastly and step over the landmines. There's darkness to come. Not just for her. She will bypass it, but
So what is the next thing coming our way for humanity that the darker ones are going to try and steer people into fear? What's the next part of the agenda?
still something in May. There seems to be something on the 17th that may come out later today. A new announcement which angers me. It distorts my face when I read it.
It's at another level of control.
Yes.
How will this play out?
Will be very close. They're actually trying to puppeteer Trump. Like he is here to save in a way, but he's not completely aware of his role, because he actually does talk about the immunizations, which is upsetting. Then again, I guess he does have to appease the public to a point, and he isn't enforcing the mandatory vaccinations, but he does still connect with Fossey. So they are trying to manipulate him. It's almost down to the thin red line. It's like the last second before they push the button. And then he gets that aha moment and realizes it is not for the greater good of humanity.
Trump understands that at the last minute?
Yes.
So what is this next level of control that they're going to bring forward?
Something to do with banking monetization system. These rigid transactions, just seeing everything as these steel machines, just our archaic way of dealing with funds.
What do they hope to accomplish with this agenda?
Total mass control and manipulation of all financial endeavors and transactions, all monies across the entire globe.
So what can we do as humanity to thwart this?
Let go of all assumption of our governments or powers that be having our best interests in mind with anything to do with finances. Do as much bartering and trading as we can. Deal as little as we can with the banking system and money in general. Trump is already working on going back to the gold standard, which was the way of our financial system in the past.
Will cash become obsolete shortly?
For the most part, some will still carry it or trade it, but if they trade amongst each other, then how can they use it if it's not accepted in the public domain of retail. They just instantaneously changed our world, our existence, of every possible thing that our life entails or deals with, right down to our base of security and how we pay for our basic needs. So, as the saying goes, which I hate to use profanity that is, what is the word? It's just like a dirty profanity, but they've got us by the balls, sorry. I've never used that term in my life.
Well, humanity is quite resilient. I'm sure that we will turn to bartering and trading for things.
Yeah.
And that will free us from their system.
Yes, this is why the communal living must begin again. To break free from thinking we must count on them for their factory farms and their large chain supermarkets.
So when do you see humanity's complete and total freedom from their reign?
The freedom began, or we gained our freedom when this began, or 2019. They thought they were taking control, but ultimately they gave us our freedom.
And what about all the fear people are feeling?
It will come to a point where it'll just dissipate. It's that it had to come from the ground and come through our bodies and through our chakras, and we had to all collectively feel it as it traveled through the layers and then came up to our higher self. So right now, even though we're dealing with basic needs at the root, it is at our heads and it is clouding our intuition. So we feel this heaviness and cloudiness in our heads, but we all have to feel it in that area before it leaves. And like the virus, it's going to leave as quickly as it came.
So will the virus die out by the end of this summer?
The virus is no more. It really doesn't even exist on a human level anymore. It vibrationally, we can pick up on it just because of the power it's been given by speech and thought alone, through the propaganda fear aspect, but it actually does not exist in physical form at all. It's just been embedded now into our psyche so that we think that it's present physically, but it's not.
So they've done us a favor by giving us a reason to release our fear.
Yes.
So that we will become even more empowered.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Because how do you really bring fear upon the masses? By taking away their food, shelter, and basic needs and basic rights and human dignities.
And yet we live on.
Yes, they thought they could shut down our speech and our movement, but by giving us the freedom where they thought that they were benefiting from it by keeping certain businesses open as being essential and closing all those non-essential that were the working poor or the entrepreneurs, they actually burned themselves, because by allowing some things to be open, it shows us that they don't have control, even though it's helping them financially. They're showing us that it's not all or nothing, because of the fact that some things are open and some are closed, and the public is saying it all the time. It's such a divide, and it's so much of a double standard. It's maddening that people are saying it's okay to go out, but it's not. The masks don't work, but you have to wear one. This is open, but this isn't. So it's really quite juvenile and jovial. Like it's just a joke, and the public is waking up to it. Like, this really can't be true. If it was a worldwide pandemic, there would be dead bodies everywhere, and everything would be shut, all or nothing. So it's quite laughable. It's quite a joke that they thought they were pulling the wool over our eyes, hence the sheep.
So what are the true statistics of what is going on?
Like 1 part per million. It's really, even the numbers that are true are really meaningless, because the light had dealt with this before it was even released, because they knew this was coming. So there are no statistics. There is no virus. It's again just a frequency. It's something that they planned on using to enslave humanity, but humanity was already ready. The light workers were ready and prepared. The masses were already beginning to wake up. So there was no way they could ever accomplish what they planned.
So are the light workers transmuting a lot of that fear through their own bodies?
Yes, and it's quite debilitating for them. Even though they are aware that they can step out of that, and that's what Lucy has been trying to do. Look at that. This is just my physical body, and I'm not attached to it. Because we're on this earth plane, we must embody that physical. So, and we made that choice and agreement to feel all that humanity feels, especially the lower vibrations of emotion, because otherwise how could we be a part of this society, right? How could we have that empathy and compassion unless we feel what they're feeling? So we're not just feeling it individually, we're feeling it as a whole, and not even so just in the general public, but with what's going on now, we're feeling it as a whole, the global effect of it, and that's why it's so debilitating, and why we're so tired and sleepless and weak.
Well, I think it's just the light workers' love for their human family that drives them on.
Yes, and they made this choice knowing that they would have to deal with this on this earth plane. We left our light family and came here as saviors.
So do you have a message for the light workers that may help give them that strength that they need to keep going?
Yes, think of, in your Christian Bible, the stories of Jesus Christ coming as a teacher and willing to be persecuted and executed. We're literally taking that chance This is why Lucy does not fear death and never has. And it's not so much about martyrdom anymore. It's about standing up for humanity, and that love conquers all.